Welcome to All Things Moore County, Moore County's weekly radio show highlighting the many facets of the Sandhills. That includes real estate, lifestyle, community and neighborhoods. And now, from 4 Properties, here's your host, Bill Sahadi.
Good morning and welcome to the talk show, All Things Moore County. Dorothy, we're officially into the October through December autumn.
Yes.
The heart of the year.
Heck, October's almost over.
How many times have you heard me say October is the most beautiful month in North Carolina?
16 times at least?
All the time. Last weekend, they had the Holly Arts and Crafts Festival.
Nice.
The weather was picture perfect.
I'm sure.
It was. It may have been a candidate for one of the top 10 weather days of the year. The blue sky. It was cool, but it was comfortable. And that's sort of like the kickoff, and there are a lot of events coming up between now and Christmas, and we're going to cover a bunch of them.
Good.
One of the things we've enjoyed doing on the show in the past is we've had the ability to speak to some local authors. And I admire, and it's really interesting. In Moore County, we have so many entrepreneurs, so many independent contractors, people who have moved here not as their original home, but their second or third location, and they tend to reinvent themselves where, everyone's book has many different chapters, and it's not dependent on age. That in a nutshell describes Susan Shepard, who is a Moore County resident and an author who has just authored her first book, which is a very inspirational book. And I just want to read to you very quickly a little bit of a background on Susan, and then we're going to engage with her this entire hour about her book and the inspiration. And she has an ability to really tell a very in-touch story, if you will. Susan has devoted her life to service, and she's demonstrated unwavering commitment in every role she's undertaken. She served as a 911 operator and a supervisor for 17 years, providing critical support during emergencies. For over 2 decades, she worked as a deployable Army civilian, including support to the global war on terrorism. And she's been an integral part of the Stonecroft Ministry for more than 20 years, where she continues to serve with dedication and purpose. Susan is married. She has a son. She was telling me a story before the show about the son. And we're going to get into all of this. So I'll say good morning.
Good morning.
It's a pleasure to have you here.
Well, thank you for having me join you today.
And it was also a pleasure to speak with you a couple of times prior to us doing the show. You supplied me with so much good information, and you sort of let me in a little bit as to where you were coming from. So what I've gathered is Moore County was not, you moved here how many years ago?
Oh, we moved here 14 years ago.
And what precipitated the move to Moore County, and where did you come from?
Originally Michigan, then Washington, D.C., and then the Fayetteville area, and then we moved here. So we're here for work, but it's actually the location, the small charming communities, the shopping. Panera, my husband loves Panera, brought us to Moore County.
Your husband also military background?
Yes, he's a retired Army veteran, but went back to work as a defense contractor and is still working today.
So your family were nomads. You were moving from place to place over the years of your marriage, and you have a son that is currently a major?
Yes, he just came back from the Middle East. We are so thankful he came back safe, and he actually is plays a primary role in the first chapter of Miracles in the book.
What is it that you love so much about Moore County? Is it the seasons, the tax the very favorable tax rates.
No,
the
it's
people.
It's the people.
Yeah.
They're warm and friendly and welcoming. We
Right.
just love living here.
Right. You're not leaving here anytime soon. Huh?
No, this is our permanent home.
This book that you wrote, it's called She Believed and He Moved Mountains, was a book about your passion, wasn't it?
Absolutely, based on faith. I have been blessed with so many miracles over a period of time, and I felt pressed to document things. I thought, yes, Lord, I've had several miracles, and I was really surprised when I actually started documenting. There were dozens and dozens. It wasn't just the 6 big ones I could remember where God came through in a pinch. So I was really excited to be able to get this down and share it for my family, and then to share it with everyone else, because it's so encouraging and uplifting.
So there must have been a lot of spontaneous or serendipitous moments that propelled you or compelled you to put this on paper and to share it. Because when people share, they get outside of themselves, and they're opening their arms to others, and you felt the need to do that.
Absolutely. After I had documented for my family, I was sharing with a few other people from Stonecroft Ministries, and they said, "You need to share that. You need to speak." And I go, "No, I'm not a public speaker." In fact, in junior high, I asked to actually give my presentation with my back to the audience because I was just not interested in public speaking. But over time, God showed me that's where I really needed to be. So I ended up writing my first testimony, Sparkle Like a Diamond. That's another chapter in there. And then a beautiful mosaic, and then In Focus, which all became 3 different speaking topics that I give to Stonecroft Women's Ministry. I've done about a dozen. I've already got 14 lined up for the next 9 months.
Do you really? So tell me a little bit about Stonecroft Ministry.
It's a non-denominational, faith-based nonprofit organization meeting women where they are, as they are. They've been doing it for about 80 years, and that's something I'm part of right now. I've been everything from Bible study coordinator to outreach coordinator to chairperson. It's a wonderful organization. I'm proud to be part of it.
Where are they based?
Kansas is where their home office would be, but they're all across the United States, as well as different parts of Europe and South Africa.
So the book, did you self-publish?
Yes, I did. That was quite a process.
Tell me
being
about that.
a first author, I never even, thought about all of that. But I started investigating what would it take to take a book from my thoughts to get it out there. And I ran into different writing, having to deal with first thinking about how the chapters were going to be outlined, who my audience was.
Right. That's so important. Who is your audience?
Yeah.
Right.
What I wanted what I wanted to get across.
Right.
And then you could start all the technical things about, okay, so as a first time author, I never ever thought about bringing someone into the scene and describing it in detail. Since I worked in the military, it's pretty much get it out and be done and get off the topic. So
Right.
that was interesting process. So the editing, the grammar, the structure, and then you could actually start with all of the different processes that Amazon, Spotify, and some of the other platforms require. I mean, there's a long list of things that you have to do to actually just get the pages, margins, and formatting set up so that they'd even accept it.
Right.
So I did self-publish after taking a look at traditional publishing, hybrid publishing, and self-publishing, and decided I wanted the ability to change, add at will, wherever God led me.
So in between the lines, this is a sense that I get from what you've said and from what we spoke about before we came here on the show. This book is not about income. It's a gift.
Absolutely.
That you want to share. And is that...
That's actually very true. In fact,
Okay.
all the profits from this book goes directly to Stonecroft Women's Ministries. I just want to give back.
Right.
They have poured so much into my life and in the lives of countless of other people. So I just wanted to give back. So
There was an iconic movie years ago that I never forgot, and every once in a while we have a guest that comes on that reminds me of the movie, and it was called Pay It Forward. And there's a lot of that in Moore County with a lot of people where they want to share. So I do want you to share about the book. It's it's how many pages is it? 70?
80-ish.
80-ish,
88,
yeah,
something like that.
and it's an easy read. You can read it in a couple of hours and
Yes.
and get it. But I have a feeling that people who will read it will want to go back and read it again, or maybe they'll identify a specific story because it's like a vignette of different short stories.
Absolutely.
So you made the decision to tell X amount of stories because each one had a special meaning to you. Was one more special than the other? Was one more personal than the other? How do you rank them?
Well, that's a hard
Yeah,
question because
it
I'm
is.
so passionate about all of them.
Mm-hmm.
And what's nice is you can just read one and put it down before you go to bed or something like that. And
Yeah.
since they're standalone, you're able to do that. But
Right.
back to the question, I would have to say chapter 5, and that is out of the dark and into the light. And that just shows you how God can put you in the right place at the right time. I was coming home from what we call Ironman temporary tour of duty. I had been up in D.C. all day. You went up in the morning, you did your work, and you came back at night. And it was about 12:45 at night. And I'm driving along Highway 690 in the Vass area. And I look, I'm tired, and it's like, Lord, help me get stay awake to get home because it's way past my bedtime. And I'm looking down the highway, and I think I see somebody standing in the middle of the road. And I blinked, I looked again, I'm going, yeah, that's somebody standing in the middle of the road. So as I pulled up, to the woman, I cautiously rolled my window down because who knows what's going to be happening out in the middle of the night. And I asked her what was going on. She said that she was just in a fight. She was crying, her knees were bloody, and so after making sure that she didn't need an ambulance or police, I said, is there anything I can do? And she said, well, can you give me a ride home? I'm going, okay.
Was this a domestic situation?
It did end up being a domestic situation.
Okay.
And after checking with the Holy Spirit, I let her into my car and drove her home. And as we sat in front of her trailer with the light outside her home, it was Christmas time, and I shared the information about how Christ's work, His grace, His forgiveness, is a lot like gifts underneath the Christmas tree, and that if you don't accept it, you don't have the blessings inside. And I'd asked her about where she went to church, and she really hadn't, and was just sort of seeking. And that's what this book all is about, is for seekers. So it's perfect timing.
Yeah.
And she was crying, and she said, just before I saw your headlights, I prayed out to God to help me, and you showed up.
Wow. So people, I mean, you refer to this as chapter 5,
Mm-hmm.
but in truth, a chapter may be 1,500 to 1,800 words. It's a collection of not excerpts, but very short stories.
Mm-hmm.
But you get right to the point of each chapter. A chapter could be 2 or 3 pages. It's very easy reading, and it's one you can come back to and pick one for inspiration. You're familiar with Norman Vincent Peale. A lot of people, just a little. So a lot of people will read affirmations.
Mm-hmm.
Because people sometimes need to remind themselves, because you are what you think.
Mm-hmm.
And you better start thinking properly, otherwise you can make decisions that you may regret. And people need to coach themselves all the time. And in a way, this book is sort of like a coaching tool. We're going to come back in the second set, and I'm going to want you to go through each chapter a little bit and give the Cliff Notes version, if you will, of some of the stories. The name of the book is She Believed and He Moved Mountains. The book, all the proceeds go to the Stonecroft Ministries. We're not trying to sell a book, we're trying to share a book.
Absolutely.
There's a big difference. My guest is Susan Shepard, and we'll be right back. Welcome back to our second set of All Things Moore County. Susan Shepard, a local Moore County resident and first-time author of an inspirational book entitled She Believed and He Moved Mountains, is our guest. And in talking in the first set, you made me reflect a little bit that people need reassurance, people need foundation, people need something spiritual to hold on to all the time. Some people find it in church, some people find it in... Everyone has, different reasons and vices and options, but they need to be grounded somehow, some way. And these chapters, I think, give people an opportunity to get grounded if they're not.
Absolutely.
Right? In business, in the business that I'm in real estate, I see many different types of people, and I always, in my head, sometimes I make a judgment, and that's not a good thing, but an observation. How's that?
Mm-hmm.
Some people have good formulas, some people have bad formulas, some people have no formulas, and you always want to find people who have the right formulas, because it helps them make good decisions. I think these chapters, each one of them provides a foundation of belief.
Absolutely.
Right.
You're going to find hope and grace,
Right.
And restoration in
Right.
these chapters. And I've had several people come up to me after they've read it and said, "Oh, this was just so encouraging, and I really, really appreciate it." And it wasn't just women, because the book is really written for women. When we talk about some of the topics, they're going to sound a little more on the feminine side. But even the men who have read it have said they've really been blessed. And I truly believe if you read this book, you will be blessed.
So I'm looking at the chapter names, and the one that intrigues me as I'm looking through it is Sparkle Like a Diamond. I don't know why, it just did. Tell me about Chapter 2, Sparkle Like a Diamond.
Okay, so I actually am a certified diamond appraiser.
You are?
Yes, I am. And
wow.
It's amazing how God has just woven the tapestry of all the different events in my life into this book. It's really quite amazing. And I realized after I had gone through so many different challenges that God brought me through that our lives can mirror the process of sparkling, of becoming a diamond. Going through the tremendous amount of pressure, and then coming out from black as sin with coal, to which carbon is a main component of that, to become then polished and faceted
Right.
over the issues that you go through in life to help
Right.
you sparkle like a diamond.
Do you know I was in the jewelry business for 23 years?
Oh, really?
That was my first life in New York, and I used to spend a lot of time on 47th Street with the diamond brokers.
Oh, wow.
And so many of my friends, when they got married, they would call me and ask me to help them get a diamond. And you can take a diamond to a diamond appraiser in the morning and have the cut, the clarity, the color graded for insurance purposes.
Mm-hmm.
You can take that same diamond to another appraiser in the same building that afternoon and get a completely different assessment.
It is subjective.
Oh my gosh. And so you're taking me back now to the 80s and 90s. But so Sparkle Like a Diamond.
Yeah. So that took me through a very toxic work environment.
Okay.
And what I learned through that was that I was not trusting God. I had sort of looked at myself and gone, okay, I've gotten 3+ promotions, going from a contractor to the next 20 years in the command, and I was doing exceptionally well. And I think God wanted me to realize, hey, you have a pride issue. You have a trust issue, and you have a pride issue. And God, in His gracious, merciful way, walked me through those different issues. And they were dark times. They were really dark times for me. There were definitely, God put people in my path to help strengthen me.
When was this?
This was about 8 years ago.
About 8 years ago.
And I would, after work, I would just go home and sort of curl up on the couch in a fetal position and watch bake shows, which were my escape. And it'd be just enough to get me back to work the next day. And it wasn't until I was walking back from one part of the compound to the other that I went, I've got to report my Lunesta sleep prescription. And that's a big deal because then you're no longer deployable. And so I just really broke down. That was my low point and said, God, what do I need to learn from all of this? And it was that I wasn't trusting Him. Mm-hmm. And while that was like one step, I was still struggling with a lot of things. And it wasn't until I realized that the individuals who were causing the toxic work environment, I was not loving them, which is what we're called to do. And so while I could love them in the way of praying for their salvation and forgiveness, one of the things God wanted me to do was pray for their success, because they had said they could do what I was doing so easy. They could get it done in 3 months. And that was a nugget I had a hard time letting go of, is praying for their success. But when I did,
What happened?
it was amazing. I had my career was resurrected in 3 days. I went from not being able to get anything done to everything falling into place. And it was miraculous, to include one of the individuals that was making my life so difficult was placed under me to supervise.
Placed under you.
To supervise.
Wow.
But I sought God in that, making sure his evaluation was all that it could be so that he could be the employee, all that he needed to be.
In the all the chapters that you wrote, and we're going to go through a few more, is the undermining a villain control?
In my own life, as probably as well as the other individuals, because I wanted control.
Right.
But when you turn things over to God,
Right.
it's amazing what he will do. We just hold on to things thinking, I need to do this, when part of that other grounding that you just talked about was turning things over to God and just trusting in him and watching the amazing things that he can and will do.
Another chapter, I'm just looking through, finding strength to climb any mountain.
Yes. So while that is one of the things that the book does, is one of the things the book does is it goes through and it addresses really big miracles, as well as take you down to the everyday types of miracles.
Right.
So I happened to be in the Middle East, and I was going up an extremely tall mountain. And I was asked if I wanted to do this, and I seen the pictures of the location. I went, oh yeah, I absolutely want to do this. And I'm thinking, I've climbed hills before. I know how to do this. This will be great. Until, you're climbing 2,000 plus feet up and hundreds of steps, and all of a sudden your muscles start to seize. And I didn't think I was going to be able to make it to the top. I was envisioning helicopters coming to have to rescue me because my muscles were seizing. So first it was calves, then it was quads, and it was like, oh Lord, I need you. And I focused on his strength to get me to the top. And then of course coming back down wasn't anywhere near as strenuous. But that just showed me that if you really just trust in God and you just focus on him instead of the problem, because so often we focus on the problem,
Right.
and it just becomes bigger and bigger and bigger, versus focusing on God, who is bigger than any of our problems, that we can do anything. We can get to the top. And when I did, it was just this gorgeous rose red hues of mountains against a gorgeous, almost Carolina blue sky and across the desert. It was gorgeous. And that's one of the things that I had to stop and realize, that that traversing up that mountain is very much like our lives, and it's about overcoming. Keep focus on him, get to the top, and you will be rewarded.
I mentioned the word control before.
Mm-hmm.
Hand in hand with the word control, I think of the word will, strong will.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like in order to clear the vision, you've got to back off from the strong will, because that's an individual thing. That's about us, not about a greater good.
Absolutely. Surrendering your will,
Right.
turning it over to God's will was critical in one of the chapters.
One that resonates with me that I've worked on for years, and I feel like the older I get, the more allergic I become to drama, so I'm getting better at it. But I think you just keep learning. Chapter 16, do not be anxious.
That focuses more on our. We just get so anxious over so many different things.
Go right ahead. And we can, well, there's so many, and right behind do not be anxious, Field of Dreams, which of course I know right away as the movie, the iconic movie with Kevin Costner. But they're very, the titles are very, I think people will look at this. You don't have to start at the beginning of the book. You can pick any chapter and just go read it.
Yes,
right?
Absolutely. So, like chapter 16, do not be anxious.
Yeah.
So that story is about, it sort of starts with a grounding of where I came from. So I was raised in Michigan. My parents both went through the Depression. My mother and father both lost. My mother lost their home at the last mortgage. They lost their home. My dad at age 12. I know this sounds unbelievable, but he did. At age 12, his family sent him out to sharecropper at another home so that he could earn his keep and send some money home. So those types of my parents definitely gave me that sense of, you have to work hard and you
Right.
still don't know about what life is going to give you.
Right.
So when I was in the stories where I talk about being a 911 operator and supervisor, I had worked hard, got a master's degree, and the local county up there had a director's position. So I applied for it, received it, and but when they wouldn't give me the job, wouldn't give me a year contract, I decided this wasn't right. And so I went back to working at Ingham County Central Dispatch.
Right.
But when I did that, I had made a decision to opt out of a traditional retirement plan.
Ooh.
And so and over time, it was millions of dollars of what I had given up. But in that moment, in my deepest despair about my choice, I heard, "Don't worry, my daughter." And while that helped, I still always had a little bit of a concern. But what was wonderful was if I had gotten that director job, I'd have probably stayed. But because I didn't, I ended up being open to my husband moving to some other areas and consequently coming down here to North Carolina, getting involved with Stonecroft Ministries, and likely this book wouldn't be here if I had not lost that retirement.
That sort of reminds me of that expression, when one door closes, another door opens. But in order to close a door, I think a big part of being able to close a door, waiting for another one to open, is dependent upon your faith, not anything else, not hopes and dreams and wishes. It's your faith. And I don't know that a lot of people are willing to do that because they're afraid to lose what they have. So they're stuck.
But unfortunately, they missed the blessing that comes with turning that over. I would have never, ever thought I would be where I'm at right now, and the opportunities that I have had working through the command and with Stonecroft.
Yep.
If you didn't turn that over, so you lose if you don't turn it over.
Right. Susan Shepard is our guest. She is the Moore County local author of her first book, She Believed, and He Moved Mountains. We'll be back in the third set. This is All Things Moore County. Welcome back to our final set of All Things Moore County. Susan Shepard is our guest. She is a Moore County resident. She's written her first book, She Believed, and He Moved Mountains. It's a collection of standalone, inspirational, and encouraging short stories. It's easy reading. It's a reference book as much of anything else. It can be picked up at any time. people, as we talked, Susan, people sometimes need reassurance with their faith, and the book serves as a reminder sometimes to keep them going on the road that they're on, because sometimes people lose faith very quickly, and sometimes they have it when they think it's the most necessary, but not always.
Unfortunately, you need it to undergird everything you're doing, and you can truly
Right.
live a wonderful life.
Right. One of the topics, one of the chapters in the book revolves around your son, who we referenced in the first set. He just returned from the Middle East, because one of the chapters is actually about him and a wedding miracle that came up. What does he think of the book, about the chapter and about the book in general?
Well, since he lived it, it's very special to him, and he also believes that God can move mountains. So it's about a wedding right here in Moore County. A situation we had was I was blessed to be able to help out my son and future daughter-in-law with a wedding, a big wedding, 100 people, and I researched and found the Little River Resort. I thought that was the perfect place to have a wedding event. I got it contracted and sort of lost track of everything up until about 6 weeks before, and then I reached out to the event location, and they said we're closed, and the manager's gone.
How soon before the wedding?
6 weeks, invitations out.
Oh boy.
And so at that point, I sort of panicked and started looking for bulk supplies online and figuring out how I could hold a wedding in our backyard. And I stopped and realized I needed to trust God, and I needed to reach out in prayer. So I stopped and prayed for God to show me what to do, and He knew the problem better than I did, so I wanted it to all work out for His glory. And so I called my prayer warriors, and within a few minutes after reaching out to my prayer warriors, I heard, "Call the potato lady." And I thought, Lord, I don't know any potato lady. But after a few minutes, I remembered going to a bridal event here in Southern Pines where a woman had served really great mashed potatoes. I thought, well, this is a stretch. But I had to try and figure out what that restaurant was. It was Philly and Colts. I called and left a message on their answer machine. It was 8 o'clock at night and said, I don't know if you cater. I don't know if you're even available on this date, but I need a wedding for 100 people in my backyard in 6 weeks.
Yeah.
So I went to the event the next day, and I was hoping to plead to still have it there. And I was told, no, this was closed. But while I was walking around the lobby, my phone rang, and it was the woman from Philly and Colts. And she said, I do happen to cater, and I am available. And then what she said next just really took me by surprise. She said, and I am the new owner of the Little River Resort, and we will make this right for you.
That's great.
And we had the wedding held exactly as planned. To God be the glory.
So you didn't spin out 6 weeks before when you got the news. You didn't panic. You prayed. You had a thought to reach out to someone called the potato lady.
Yes. And the woman from Philly and Colts was the same woman who had served me potatoes.
That's crazy.
At the bridal event here in Southern Pines.
So, okay. Otherwise, had that thought not come to you, you would have been trying to do this on your own in your backyard, a family wedding.
Absolutely. I know 100% that was from God to call the potato lady, because that was nowhere in my thought process at all.
Right. So you're in a position now where the book is done. It's a beautiful cover, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah, and
it has a lot of meaning behind it. New life with a butterfly, the mosaic from the different pieces of the different problems I've gone through, but yet it comes together in a very beautiful piece.
And wasn't there a chapter about the butterfly effect?
It is, absolutely. I feel very strongly about that, and I start with what the butterfly effect is. Just like I go through a lot of information through more about details about diamonds, details about eyes, details about histories of stained glass mosaics. But in that, I go into.
You've got the stained glass mosaic for sure, and the butterfly on the cover.
The butterfly effect
Yes.
that you had mentioned.
Yes.
So I start off talking about what that is, and I feel very strongly because a lot of people don't realize
Yeah.
that what they do has a tremendous effect. So the thought is that a butterfly who flaps its wings in one location, if that wind doesn't stop, it could eventually become a hurricane, a big storm. And you can make that parallel in our lives,
Right.
that with what you say to someone
Yep.
can have that
Yep.
snowball effect
Yeah.
for good or for bad.
Could be a storm front.
So what you say that could be said angrily could, snowball to the next person who does something worse, to the next person who is out there with road rage and causes something awful. In the same vein, if you do something positive, there's a potential for that to snowball in a very positive effect.
Okay.
And I talk very specifically about some other things that happened that were minor things, but they snowballed into, I know, things that are for greater good.
So, I guess, big picture, this book is a primer for people to tap into their faith. People that maybe are looking for something foundational that is a reminder to them about the things that maybe they knew at one point in their lives as children, growing up, and their beliefs, and sort of getting back to those roots, huh?
Absolutely. So one of the great things about this book is if you get it for yourself, it's a great, encouraging, uplifting, inspirational book that can help reground you.
Yeah.
But if you're hesitant to share your faith or just know someone who's seeking or struggling,
Right.
this is a great, easy way to pass along hope and encouragement.
Right. Where can people purchase the book? Is it online right now?
Yes, it is on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, a couple other Kobo and Lulu, and it's actually in our Southern Pines Country Bookstore as well.
Oh, it is.
So if you're interested, you could pick it up right today. Wouldn't even have to wait for Amazon to deliver.
And now that you've done this, how long did it take to put this all together?
Well, I started documenting the miracles about 3 years ago.
Okay.
But the actual process of generating the book has really been like the last 9 months, and that really came together, so I know that's not of me.
Has the energy that you put into it and the enthusiasm, is it taking you now in a different direction? Do you have any other plans in the works for anything else?
Yes, I
In
do.
terms of
Though
writing, yeah.
I thought, as soon as I get this done, I'm done.
You're not. You're just starting.
I am. I was really surprised. So God has put on my heart to write a companion Bible study to it. And I think it's going to be really special. It's not going to be like any traditional Bible study. I think I want to make it Indiana Jones style,
Gotcha.
with a twist of faith, so that even a choose your own path type of thing. And what popped up the other day is an interactive video game for somebody who might not even ever take a Bible study, but would learn and grow and be encouraged through something very unique.
Very nice.
I have no idea how that's going to happen, but God does.
Yeah. So now that the book is out and you're working on another one, are you available to speak to different organizations or different groups here in Moore County?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If you're interested in someone to speak for about 20 minutes on personal growth, resilience, or anything, you can certainly reach out to me.
How would they reach you?
So they could either go to the name of the book at gmail.com, She Believed and He Moved Mountains at gmail.com, or they could go ahead and go to my website, which is just hemovedmountains.com, and I have a contact link there. Just click that and fill in the blanks and submit it.
I will wait to hear and see what else you're working on and what comes out. One of the things about Moore County that I think you'll agree with me on, I've lived here 26 years now. 2 or 3 years here is a lifetime. If you network and you know the right people and you get into circles, your ascent can be very quick in terms of familiarity, knowing people, connecting. Not like an urban area where you can get lost, and there's so many different subcultures. It's a very intimate community, which is fertile ground for your message.
I think so as well. I'm anxious to share, and
Yeah.
I truly believe that these stories will shape everyone's faith and help them grow. I'm just excited about what the book is going to do for others
Yes.
and for Stonecroft Ministries.
Yes, you. It's a very nice presentation that you gave. I appreciate you coming on. I wish you all the best. And again, the name of the book is "She Believed and He Moved Mountains." This was a good time to have you on.
Thank you.
Just short of the Christmas season, the holiday season. I can't even believe I'm saying that, but we are. I mean, Halloween is a week away, and then we just take off. Susan, all the best to you, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
This is All Things Moore County. Have a great week. Thank you.